Welcome. This is Yoga for Cancer, and I'm Rebecca. It's January 5th. Welcome to 2021. It is great to be here. And today is also Election Day in Georgia, and I hope that everyone has voted or made a plan to get out there and vote today. It is very important.
Happy New Year from
Happy
Aretha.
Happy New Year. Lovely to see you. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute us so we can all join together. So go ahead. We're going to start out lying on our backs today, if that's something that's comfortable for you. If you prefer to stay seated, that is, of course, always perfectly acceptable. So go ahead and lie down on your back. Feel free to put something under your knees, something under your head. Make yourself comfortable. And we'll start out with some breath and movement, pardon me, to welcome us into the new year. So take a moment to get settled, allowing your points of connection to the earth to be very clear. Maybe it's your feet and your bottom, or maybe it's your back and the back of your head, your shoulders, your hips, and your feet. Noticing those places where you connect to the earth beneath you. Begin to become aware of your sensory environment. What do you feel beneath your fingertips? Maybe it's the fabric of your clothing or the floor. Maybe the floor is cool and hard, or maybe it's sticky, or maybe it's soft and carpeted. Just notice what's there. Notice the sounds in your space beyond the sound of my voice. Can you identify sounds that are close by and also sounds that are further away? Notice the light. Maybe eyes are open or maybe they're closed. Either way, take a soft gaze, softening around the muscles of your eyes. And then begin to turn your attention more deeply inward to your own breath. Just noticing the sensation of the breath as it flows in and out of your body. Where do you notice it first? Where does the breath go? Can you follow a breath from the moment it enters your body all the way to fullness? And then the moment that the inhale becomes an exhale, and following all the way as the breath leaves your body to that feeling of emptiness and the decision to inhale again. With each exhale, pardon me, see if you can let go just a little bit more into the supports beneath you. With each inhale, feel a little bit more spacious and open throughout your body. Stay with your breath. As we move now from the darkest days of the year toward the light, let's take a moment to reflect on how we want to show up. So as you rest and connect with your breath, I'd like you to consider, pardon me, still have my cough. What are you choosing to leave behind in the darkness? What are you awakening to? To what are you awakening? And what would you like to bring forward with you into the light? Allow the breath to continue. Maybe bringing your hands to your low belly to feel the breath expanding there. Both the expansion on the inhale and the gentle contraction on the exhale. Bring this into your awareness. And then we'll continue with some arm movement. Please make this work comfortably in your body. We'll inhale and raise the left arm all the way through the air so that it rests fingernails to the ground. Maybe with a bent elbow, maybe the arm comes up overhead, or maybe it comes out to the side. As you exhale, release the arm down and turn your head to the right. Inhale the right arm up or out. Exhale, the head comes to center. Inhale the left. Exhale, turn your head to the right. Inhale the right. Exhale, turn your head to center. This time we'll inhale the right and exhale, turn head to the left. Inhale the left and turn head to center. Exhale, release. Do that again. Inhale the right up and exhale, turn head to the left. Inhale the left as the head comes to center and exhale both arms. Let's inhale both arms up or out. Exhale and release. And one more time. Inhale up and exhale, release. Let's move to a stretch on the side body. So inhale the left arm and extend the left leg. Maybe you reach overhead or out comfortably and reach out with your left leg, getting a nice stretch in the left side body. Exhale and release, coming back to your starting position. And we'll do the same on the right. Long reach, arm and leg on the same side of the body. Long reach. And exhale back to center. Let's do that with opposite arm and leg. So right arm and left leg, or left arm and right leg. Reach across that diagonal. Maybe you reach out a little bit. Exhale and release. And now, right arm and left leg. Long stretch. Open up. And exhale down. Take the next couple of breaths to work with reaches. Same side of the body and then opposite side of the body. Just take another moment noticing what feels good. Do you prefer reaching on the same side or taking that diagonal reach? If you're working to one side, make sure you work to the other side. And then we'll all finish by reaching up overhead and out with your feet like a morning stretch, right? Nice big stretch. And exhale, release arms down. Maybe you draw your knees in towards your chest, rocking a little bit from side to side. And then release your feet 1 foot at a time. And we'll move into some pelvic tilts. So inhale in place and exhale, press your low back into the mat or press it back if you're seated in a chair. Inhale and release that press and let the natural curve of your lumbar spine reassert itself. Exhale, press, creating that flattening in the back. And inhale, release the press. Come back in to that natural curve. Just a couple more like this. And then coming back through neutral, roll to one side and pause for just a moment. And then press into your hands and make your way up to sitting if you're not already there. Sitting up on a bolster, some pillows, maybe in a chair. I'm sitting on a meditation bench because that's better for my low back. I can bring my feet underneath me and then sit up on the edge of this bench, and that lets me release my low back. So I like that. Take a moment to find your comfortable seated posture. And for most of us, having our hips, here, I'll press this back a little bit so you can see. So I have my hips above my knees. I'm sitting on this bench. Maybe you're sitting cross-legged on a bolster or some pillows, or maybe you're in a chair. But allowing your knees to be below your hips to release any tension in your low back. Let's move on together with sun breaths, inhaling and floating the arms up. Exhale, turn palms down and release arms down. Please adapt this to make it work for you. Maybe you just bring your hands to here or shoulder height and exhale, release down. Or maybe you can inhale and reach overhead and exhale, float down. What we're looking to do is to connect the movement and the breath. So it takes the whole inhale for arms to float up and the whole exhale for arms to lower. Just a couple more like this. And the next time that you're reaching up or out, pause for a moment and then lower the right hand and come up and over with the left. Maybe you can reach long, maybe you bring your fingertips to your shoulder, or maybe your hand comes to your hip. What feels good in your body today? Let's stay for a breath or two, opening up that whole side of the body. And then use an inhale to come up through center and exhale over to the other side. Stay for a breath or two, opening up. Let the breath help you stretch from the inside, and then use the inhale to lift you up and over to the other side. Take your time, moving side to side, adding one or more breaths to really begin to open through the side ribs, through your waist, the top of the hips, the bottom of the rib cage, maybe all the way up through your arm and armpit. And make sure you're working to both sides as best that you can. And this or the next time that you come through center, pause here, and we'll move on together with a twist. Inhale the arms up. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Your right hand comes behind you. Inhale and grow tall, and then exhale and twist, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale back through center and exhale to the other side. One hand to your knee, one hand behind you. Inhale here to get tall, make space, and then exhale and squeeze, coming into the deep twist. Inhale back through center. Take your time, moving side to side, staying for one or more breaths, and using the breath and the muscles of the body to make the twist, not your hands. The hands are there for support, but not to crank your body around into the twist. Notice if one side feels different than the other, maybe because of your history or just your biology. We tend to favor sides sometimes. And this or the next time that you come through center, pause here. We're going to move into tabletop, hands and knees. You're always welcome to stay seated, and I'll do my best to guide you from a seated position as well. But if you're moving into hands and knees, I encourage you to have something underneath your knees, like a folded blanket or a towel. I have this extra bit of yoga mat that works for me. So find your hands and knees position, and that may mean your palms down, or maybe you'd like to make a fist and bring your knuckles down with your thumbs pressing forward, or even come down onto forearms on a block or all the way down on the mat. Wherever you are, have your hands, fists, or elbows underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Take a moment here to find a long spine, reaching the crown away from the tailbone. Draw the belly up and in for support. Neutral pelvis. And then from here, we'll move into cat or cow. And if you're seated, you can do the same movement, just sitting in a chair. Inhale and lift your tail, open the front body, and maybe lift the crown of your head. Exhale, tuck your tail under, draw your belly in, and let your head release. Start with the movement in the pelvis, lifting the tail, opening the front body, lifting the crown of the head. And again, start tucking the tail, draw the belly in, and let the head follow. Take your time moving through your cat and cow. Pressing the floor away, opening between the shoulders, the shoulder blades. Opening the front body, using your breath. Take just another breath or two, moving through. And then press hips to heels and come into child's pose. Maybe you'd like to bring your knees wider apart, your toes together, and then soften hips to heels and release your head down to or towards the mat. If the floor is far away, maybe you stack your hands or even take the edge of a pillow or block to rest your head. you're seated in a chair, just sit, drawing the belly in and releasing the head a little bit forward. Breathing in to your back body. Can you feel the breath expanding in the hips, in the lower back, in the middle back, even between the shoulder blades? As you exhale, release and let go. Take just a few breaths here. And if you're in child's pose, then walk your hands forward, a handprint or so. Maybe you draw your knees in a little bit closer. Inhale and press your hips forward so your shoulders come up over your hands. Long spine, long line from knees to the crown of the head. This is a knee down plank. We'll exhale and press back, hips to heels, back towards child's pose. Inhale, come forward. Try not to drop your hips to keep some tone in your belly to create that long line. Exhale and press back. Take just a couple more breaths to explore this knee down plank and child's pose kriya, moving between the two poses with your breath. And when you're done, go ahead and come back into child's pose and pause. We'll all meet there. When you're ready, walk your fingertips back. We're going to come up to standing. Now you can follow along or take your own path. I'm going to curl my toes under and press back into a squat. And then I'll press my heels down, hands to knees, and I'll walk all the way up to standing. Take a moment to grab a block if you have one. I'm going to bring the block between our lower legs, our shins, so below the knee, maybe above the ankle. My pants are up a little high here so you can see right where I'm placing this block. I have it sort of at the medium width. If you have a firm pillow that's soft, you can do the same. You could even use one of those big fat paper towel rolls. The idea is to have something that you can squeeze in towards. Because as we squeeze in towards the center line, it helps us to create stability in the pelvis, a lift in the pelvic floor, even in the low abdominals, to find our mountain pose, Tadasana. So from your feet up, squeezing in toward the center line, drawing the pelvic floor up, low belly, middle belly, maybe the arms rise up. And then exhale and close with your hands at heart center. Bring your hands to the top of your hips, and even as you're squeezing that block, go ahead and rock a little bit forward and back. You're shifting your weight between your heels and the balls of your feet. And then come to a place of balance where you feel as if your weight is distributed equally, front to back and side to side. Press down, squeeze in, draw energy up, and then once again, we'll inhale and reach up. This time, exhale, release arms down, turn your palms to face forward. This is Tadasana, or mountain pose. And no matter how the wind howls, the mountain does not yield. Feel the strength in your body. Feel that sensation of being connected to the earth, being grounded and steady. Feel the energy to rise up, reaching up through the crown of your head. One more breath in place. And then soften and release. Keep your block where it is, though. I'm going to turn sideways so you can watch my body position for the next sequence. We're going to work with our chair pose. So from here, keeping that block, if you have it, squeezing between your lower legs, we're going to slide hands down your legs towards your knees and reach back through the tailbone, finding a long spine. So it's as if you're sitting back into a chair. That's a little too far away. But don't lean your weight back because there is no chair. But don't let your knees come forward. Make sure that your knees stay over your ankles and you can see your toes. Draw your belly in to support your back. Reach through the crown of the head and then press down into your feet to rise up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Now, that's version 1, hands on your thighs. You can always choose that version. Or with hands at heart center, we'll do the same thing. Inhale here and then exhale. Begin to sit back, reaching through the tailbone, reaching up through the crown of the head. Look down, make sure you can see your toes. Squeeze in towards that block. Draw your belly in and up. One more breath here. And then press down to rise up. And this time exhale and lower your arms. That's version 2, hands at heart center. We'll do one more version and then we're going to do a little movement with it, a little kriya. So version 3, and again, 1 is option, 2 is an option, and then 3 is an option. Inhale and sit back, reaching through your long arms. Same body position, long spine. Sitting back, knees over your ankles, you can see your toes. You're lifting up and drawing back. One more breath here, and then squeeze in, press down, and lift up. Exhale and release. Take a moment, shake it out, whatever you need to shake, and then I'll turn forward for the next little sequence with our chair pose. So you always have the option to have hands on your knees for a little bit more support. Inhale and come into your chair pose, reaching back through your tailbone. Maybe the arms reach forward. Inhale here and then exhale. Release your arms behind you, kind of like a ski jump position, if we can imagine that. Maybe some of us have done that. Inhale, hands to heart center. Press down to rise up. Beautiful. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, reach up, sit back. Next inhale here, reach, and then exhale, lean, hands behind you like you're racing down that slope. Hands to heart center, one more breath, and then press into your feet to rise up. Release the block and shake out the effort in your legs. Let's bring our block, if you have one, in between your feet. We're going to move into a balance pose. We'll work with tree pose. So go ahead and set yourself up in a way that you have the support that you need. Maybe you turn sideways and have fingertips on a wall Or maybe there's a chair or another piece of sturdy furniture that you could rest your hands on. Wherever you are, if you have that block between your feet, squeeze in towards center and find your mountain pose. How is it different if the block is down on the floor? Does it change it? Take a moment here to look ahead and find your focal point or drishti, something that's at about eye level and straight ahead of you, something that's not moving. Fix your eyes there on your focal point. Really root down through both of your feet. And then pressing into the left foot, bend the right knee, lifting your heel. Turn out from your hip and rest your heel on your block. Maybe this is your tree pose. Or maybe you'd like to bring your toes onto the block, your heel towards your other calf, or even your foot to the inside of your other leg, avoiding your knee. Wherever you are, root down, begin to draw the energy up through heart center, and maybe branches grow, opening up your canopy. Your drishti, your focal point, might even lift a little higher. Make sure your breath is flowing. Feel free to come in and out if you need to. Put your foot down and then come back in and find your balance. Maybe your fingertips are on the wall or your hand is on the furniture. Let's take one more breath here, opening up, and then exhale, hands through heart center. Bring 2 feet down. Shift a little from side to side, maybe walk in place. And come to stillness in your mountain pose. Maybe your hands stay here at heart center, maybe one hand, so you can touch your support. Take a moment to ground with both feet. And then shift into the right foot so you can bend the left, raising the heel, turning out at the hip. Stay here with your heel on the block or bring the foot up to the block or to the inside of the other leg. Just avoid pressing into your knee. Take a moment to draw the energy, the breath, up from the roots through heart center, and maybe branches grow. Can you feel that sensation of being deeply rooted, but also buoyant and open, reaching, lifting? One more breath. And then exhale, hands through heart center, 2 feet down, and release. You can remove the block off to the side. We have one more standing sequence, and then we'll move down. And this is a half sun salute. I'm going to turn sideways again so you can see my body posture. And I'll talk you through it. We'll inhale and arms will come up. Exhale, begin to come into something very much like your chair pose, your hands on your knees, long spine. Stay here for an inhale if you like. Exhale, stay in place or release your head down toward the mat. Maybe your legs straighten a little bit. Press down, bend your knees and inhale. Come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do it 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come to your knees. Inhale in place, get long. Exhale, hold or come forward into a forward fold. Pressing down to rise up on the inhale, all the way up and exhale. hands to heart center. Last time. Inhale up, exhale forward. Inhale, lengthen, stay, or exhale forward. Press down to rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful job. We're going to move down to our bellies. Now, for many of us, we need a little extra space, maybe a little extra support underneath our bellies. You can use a folded blanket or towel, or you could use a flat pillow and bring it underneath your pelvis as you come down. Bring your elbows down, coming into Sphinx pose. So my elbows are underneath my shoulders. I have my hands flat. My toenails are pressing down. My knees are pressing down. Take a moment here to rock from side to side. Coming back to center, inhale in place, and then exhale and press your pubic bone and hip points into the floor, into your support, whatever's underneath you, creating a lot of support for your low back. Press down through your hands and forearms, and imagine that you can drag your arms back and that your heart center can move forward between your arms. Let your head be extended, neck extended, maybe looking down. I keep lifting mine to look at you guys, but you should stay long. Stay here or try kicking your feet one at a time. And come back to stillness. Now, if this position is not comfortable for you, maybe you'd like to come down to crocodile, stacking your hands with your elbows wide, and rest. Otherwise, from Sphinx position, we're going to bring our right hand across so it's parallel with the short edge of your mat. Bend your left foot. Take your left hand and reach towards your foot. Maybe you'll touch it, or maybe you'll just reach. Take a moment here to get a nice twist, an opening in the front of the body and in the upper body, middle body, and then release the leg down, come back to your starting position. Rock a little bit from side to side. Inhale in place. Exhale, press down, creating that good, strong stability. Bring your left hand across to be parallel with the edge of your mat. Bend your right leg. Reach back with your right arm. Maybe you touch your foot. Maybe you can grab your foot. If you can grab your foot or ankle, then push your foot into your hand. Resist that with your hand and come into a nice side twist, opening up. One more breath wherever you are. And gently release the foot and come back through Sphinx pose. We're going to press back into child's pose. Dropping hips to heels. Maybe your head comes down towards the mat. Take a couple of breaths here. And then carefully roll on to your back. Take your time moving on to your back. Allow your knees to be bent, your feet to rest on the floor. Maybe you'd like to draw your knees in towards center. holding on to your shins or your knees or behind your legs. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Releasing the effort of the standing practice and creating a counterpoint to the belly down practice. From here, keep holding on to your left knee and let your right foot come down to the floor. Maybe you stay right here, just feeling that juxtaposition of one knee in. Or maybe you can reach behind your leg and press your foot up towards the ceiling. Your leg does not have to straighten. Stay here, or maybe you can extend your right leg long on the mat. If you're here, press your left leg into your hands and feel a little reset in your pelvis. Reach through both heels, getting nice and long. Draw the right knee back in if it's extended. Bend your left leg and bring your ankle above the other knee, coming into a figure 4 stretch. From here, you can bring your hands to your leg, maybe even gently pressing your knee away. And maybe you can rock a little bit from side to side. Carefully release your left foot down. Draw both knees in, hugging them in. And then hold on to your right knee and bring your left foot down. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you bring your hands behind your thigh, maybe pressing your foot up towards the ceiling. Maybe you extend your lower leg, reaching out, pressing out through the heel, really feeling that opposite direction. One leg is drawing in, one leg is reaching out. Press out through both heels. Stay for a moment. And then carefully bend your lower leg and draw your right ankle above the left knee, coming into the figure 4 stretch. Maybe your hands are on your legs, gently pressing your knee away. Gently, don't force anything. Just looking for a sense of opening in the hip. Maybe it would feel good to rock from side to side. And come to stillness. Gently draw both knees in. And then bring your feet down to the mat. Walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. Walk them out wide. Bring your arms out. You can do either cactus or goddess arms, or straighten the arms out at the shoulder height. And begin to gently drop your knees to the right. Inhale through center and gently drop your knees to the left. Inhale through center. You can keep moving side to side, one breath per movement. Or you can choose to drop your knees to one side and stay for a few breaths, maybe turning your head away from your knees. Take your time. Make sure you work to both sides. If there's a twist that you prefer, then please go ahead and take it now. Working your twist to both sides. Some teachers will say work equally to both sides, but sometimes one side needs a little more. Our goal is balance, so work towards balance. And when you feel complete with your twist, draw your knees in, maybe rocking from side to side. And then take a moment or two to decide how you'd like to end your practice. Is there another pose or two that your body is calling for? Or are you ready to come into a comfortable rest? Take your time, finish up your practice. Maybe you need some more twist or a happy baby. Maybe just some gentle stretches up with your legs. What is your body asking for to complete your practice? And when your practice is complete, go ahead and set yourself up, pardon me, for a comfortable Shavasana rest pose. Maybe you have pillows under your knees and a pillow under your head, a blanket over you. Some people like to put an eye pillow over their eyes. Where do you want your arms to be? Down at your sides, palms up, or elbows bent, hands on your body, belly, chest. Take a moment to get really comfortable. And with each exhale, see if you can let go just a little bit more into the cradle of the earth beneath you. Melting, sinking into the support. Inhaling and opening to the big sky above you, drawing it in like a blanket, holding you to the earth. Allow your breath to be slow and smooth. And your body to be heavy. Letting go through your feet and ankles. Each leg heavy, dropping down. Let your feet flop out comfortably. Heaviness in your hips, letting both hips drop down towards the ground. A softness and openness in your belly, in your waist, in your middle body. Allow your shoulders to be heavy, your arms heavy. Your heart to be open. Soften in your neck and jaw. Uncrinkle your eyes, letting the eyes be heavy in the sockets. Relax the space between your eyebrows. And allow your forehead to smooth and spread. Feel a sense of open connection at the crown of your head. And take several moments just to rest. Everything you see has its roots in the unseen world. The forms may change, but the essence remains the same. Every wondrous sight will vanish, every sweet word shall fade. But do not be disheartened. The source they come from is eternal, growing, branching out, bringing new life and new joy. Why do you weep? That source is within you, and this whole world is springing up from it. The source is full. Its waters are ever flowing. Do not grieve. Drink your fill. Don't think it will ever run out. This is the endless ocean. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. When you feel ready, roll to one side and pause for a breath or two. And then press into your fingertips to bring yourself up to sitting. Allow your attention to stay deeply inward for just another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with the sound of Om for the community that we create when we practice together. If you'd like to join, bring your hands together at heart center and we'll inhale. Om, peace, peace, peace. I'll close with the traditional closing for the lineage of Swami Kripalu, which is a Hindi statement. It's called Jai Bhagwan. It's similar to Namaste, but it is appropriate to the lineage in which I was trained. So we say Jai Bhagwan, which means may you be victorious in your yoga as you are in life. Thank you for being here and take good care.